Can England win this tournament?
England?
Yeah.
Has it ever been home? I don't know, have you ever won it?
I never heard that England could win a World Cup or a European Cup. I never heard that.
The England national team is the most hated football team. Despite having the European Golden Boot winner, the La Liga Player of the Season, the Premier League Player of the Year, and the Premier League Young Player of the Year, nobody likes England. Even some English people don't like the national team. So what is it about England that makes everyone pray for their downfall in every international tournament? What is it about England that makes everyone cheer for the team against them?
So for England, it's not coming home?
No, never. It's never coming home.
Honestly, the biggest reason is probably the English fans. Most people, I think, actually like the players. Guys like Saka, Palmer, Kane, Bellingham are very likable. They're all good, humble players who aren't involved in drama off the pitch. The issue is most English fans seem to be the exact opposite. Beginning in at least the 1960s, England gained a reputation worldwide for football hooliganism. Incidents of disorderly behavior by fans kept increasing before they reached a peak in the 1970s and 1980s. Between 1946 and 1960, there was an average of 13 incidents reported per season. But between 1961 and 1968, the number had increased to 25 per season. One of the worst incidents came in the 1980s Euros, where in the England vs Belgium game, English supporters caused riots and chaos. These kind of things do happen with all national teams. But some researchers believe English hooliganism is treated so seriously because the minority of England fans who do the most violence are so visible. There's a massive drinking culture within England, and you combine that with their hatred of anyone who isn't English, and you get a recipe for disaster. Just look at this quote from the Glasgow Herald on English hooliganism in Europe in 1984. Then the media doesn't help either. Football hooliganism is present in South America, is also seen in certain African nations, but England gets more limelight naturally because of the inflated media around them and the attention they get because of English being the primary language of the planet. In my opinion, football hooliganism comes from passion. The issue is that when fans are too passionate about their teams, they don't know when to stop. For a national team, it's a good thing to have passionate fans. It allows fans from all over the country to come together as one. But there has to be a limit to the passion. 1985 was another dark chapter for the English. Liverpool were playing Juventus in the European Cup final, and Liverpool fans charged at Juventus supporters, leading to a stampede and the death of 39 people and 600 injured. The tragedy resulted in all English football clubs being placed under an indefinite ban by UEFA from all European competitions. Liverpool was excluded for an additional 2 years, which was later reduced to 1, and 14 Liverpool fans were sentenced to 6 years in prison. The disaster was later described as the darkest hour in the history of UEFA competitions. Just in the 2021 Euros, we saw the damage done by English fans as riots broke out at the entrance to Wembley Stadium. 69 people were arrested by the police. English fans booed the Italian national anthem, trashed Leicester Square, and one dude even put up an ignited flare up his butt. This, by the way, wasn't the first time that the English had booed another country's national anthem. They had done it to Germany and Denmark earlier in the tournament. England is where the sport we love began, and thus they have a history of being attached to the sport longer than most other footballing nations. It's a common theme in an English household to pass down the jersey from their granddad to their grandchildren, pass down which team they support. It's almost like a religion. As a result, the English always demand more and express more when it comes to footballing emotion. In September 2021, Leicester City and Napoli fans clashed during a Europa League group stage match. Leicester City fans whipped Napoli supporters with belts before the match started. These weren't isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern that earned the term the English disease. These instances are so recurrent that it has significantly impacted the national team's reputation abroad. So let's say a tournament is being held in Germany, right? The German fans and the locals who live in those areas, they would rather see England lose early than seeing them go far in the tournament and then losing in the business end of the competition, because at that stage, all hell is gonna break loose. It's very common now. I mean, let's say an England team loses in the knockouts and penalty shootouts. You know there's going to be a ton of resistance in that stadium just purely from the emotion and the passion of the fans. Don't get it wrong, these kind of things happen in any footballing match that's tense. Like when Barcelona play Real Madrid, or Boca Juniors play River Plate, or Celtics play Rangers. But when it's about nations, there's a lot of history involved. The games turn into England versus the whole world, which I'll discuss later in the video. As we dive deeper into why English fans are always at the center of controversy, it's clear that their passion can be misunderstood. Their chant, especially the famous "It's Coming Home" song that could be heard all over the stadiums as England played Denmark and Serbia in the Euros, can be taken in different ways by different people. But hey, that's football, full of intense emotions and rivalries. Now, speaking of passion, let's talk about something else you might be passionate about. Watching your favorite football matches without any interruption. That's where Surfshark VPN, our sponsor for today's video, comes into play. Imagine this, you're abroad following England on their next big match, but you can't access your usual streaming services. Frustrating, right? With Surfshark, you can change your virtual location and catch every game live just like you would at home. But that's not all. Surfshark doesn't just change your location. When you're using public Wi-Fi at the stadium or in a crowded pub, your data is vulnerable to hackers. Surfshark encrypts your data, keeping those cyber criminals at bay, so you can focus on cheering for England without worrying about your online security. And here's a fun fact. With over 3,200 servers in more than 100 countries, Surfshark lets you access content from all around the globe. Surfshark has got you covered. Plus, Surfshark's clean web feature blocks annoying ads, malware, and phishing attempts, giving you a smoother, safer browsing experience. You'll get to enjoy your time online without any interruptions, just like how you want your football matches to be. One of the best parts about Surfshark is that you can use it on unlimited devices. So whether you're watching the game from your phone, tablet, or laptop, you're protected. And if you're traveling with friends, they can join too, all under one subscription. Now, for a limited time, you can get an amazing deal with my promo code PETTALKS. Click the link in the description and get 4 months extra of Surfshark for free. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guaranteed, so there's no risk. However, another angle towards this passionate chaos is the media. They're like Chemical X when it comes to inflating the emotions. When you switch on the TV, the biggest sports networks like BBC and Sky Sports, who are supposed to represent the sport worldwide and provide unbiased sports journalism regarding both the football teams involved, instead show analysis and discussions with a clear preference for the English national team. If England does bad, it's never praised for the other national team. There's an aura of arrogance about the way the pundits talk about the national team, which is crazy considering England only have one major trophy. They so often overhype their own players. If a player has a few good weeks, they're suddenly the best in the world.
So this harkens back to the age-old debate we have with England. Think of Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard. Think of Paul Scholes when you throw that in the mix as well. Too many world-class players wanting to play in the same position.
They also underestimate pretty much every opponent.
That people were talking, especially English journalists. Like I said, they should be more humble and respect more opponents.
Perfect example is what happened between England versus Iceland in Euro 2016. The English media talked about the game like it was a guaranteed England win.
Well, the only thing that they have got is the big boy up front, Sigurdsson.
Prediction 4-2 England, Harry Kane, hat-trick.
Yet, despite being in their first major tournament, the tiny country of just 330,000 people shocked the world by beating England and making it to the quarterfinals. How could it be possible that Harry Kane finished that season as the Premier League's leading goal scorer? In everyone's eye, the best striker in the world because he was doing it in the supposed best league in the world. But against Iceland, couldn't hit a pass correctly or put the ball in the back of the net. England were rattled by halftime and looked desperate. In the 2020 Euros, Gary Neville and Rio Ferdinand gave no respect to Italy before the final, and England ended up losing to them in the final in Wembley. They act like they've already won the tournament and that they deserve trophies by default.
We're planning the final where the parades were.
No,
You were talking about, you did a reality check.
It can be quite frustrating for fans from other nations and also inflate the expectations of the English fans watching from home. The media can literally portray a picture that you have already won the game, but when the outcome doesn't happen, chaos. This is probably why so many people hate the "It's Coming Home" song. Despite the self-deprecating nature of the lyrics, a lot of other countries see it as a continuation of the arrogance of the English. Personally, I don't think the song is an issue, and I think it's a fun joke that comes around every major international tournament. The issue is the fans who sing that song as a joke are also the same ones who push the narrative that the English created football and that the Premier League is by far and away the best league in the world. Technically, on paper, it's just a simple song to unite the English fans together. But as we look at the history regarding hooliganism and the media, even such a simple thing, mainly used as a chant for family and friends around England, can be seen as something annoying around the world. I think the jealousy towards the Premier League is another factor that leads to the dislike of English fans. There's so much money circulating in the league and so many people that watch it that anything remotely good done by an English player is doubled in hype. Someone like Marcus Rashford, for example, gets far more praise and appreciation than someone like Liao. English fans also downplay the talents of other players if they don't play in the Premier League. There's even an arrogance from English fans at a club level, with them thinking that any top half-table Premier League team could walk its way to a league title in another league like Italy or Germany.
Yeah, but I think Brighton would win Serie A.
Do you think?
I think they'd contend.
They'd definitely be in the top four, wouldn't they?
I think Real Madrid sometimes are like the Gareth Southgate of domestic football. They've rubbed a four-leaf clover. They somehow get through games that they have no business getting through.
While if we look at the Champions League in the past 10, 11 years, English clubs have only won 3 of 11 tournaments, which shows that the media can make the league look a lot better compared to the other nations' teams in those same tournaments. The Premier League is considered the best league in the world by default, even though there's actually no statistical evidence to showcase that. All of these factors cause the fans to have more expectations from their team rather than enjoying the sport and taking the results as they come. This increases the reactions we see in public when the English lose. The expectations rise for the players, and we know what happens when those guys don't fulfill the expectations. They get more hate and more criticism. We also obviously cannot forget about England's historical past. They have colonized and invaded so many nations that there's a buildup of resentment over the years. England has gone to war with France, Argentina, Spain, and Germany. England would invade countries, then use football as a means of teaching their values such as order, discipline, and sophistication. It was also an opportunity to shape men to become workers and join the military, even becoming popular among soldiers and colonial officials. Despite being a part of the United Kingdom together, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales have no love for the English either. These feelings don't go away and are actually made worse in these major international tournaments. But if you do want to see an analysis of how the England team has shaped up recently, check out this video right here.